Close your eyes. Imagine stepping into a realm untouched by time, a forest where silver leaves shimmer like stars, and music floats in the air like living breath. This is no ordinary place. This is Lothlórien, the Golden Wood, the heart of Elvendom on Middle-earth. A sanctuary where sorrow fades, where dreams take root, and where the very air seems woven with song. But what are these songs? Legends tell us they are more than music. They are enchantments, prayers, memories older than the mountains themselves. Tonight, I invite you on a journey not of battle or shadow, but of peace. We will wander beneath the Lothlórien trees. We will follow the silver voice of Galadriel. And as we listen to the secret songs of Lothlórien, you too will be lulled into deep rest, into dreams where the elves still sing. So breathe deeply, set down your burdens, and let us begin. The path before you is soft with fallen leaves of gold and silver. Each step you take seems to echo not with sound, but with memory itself. You are crossing the threshold now, leaving behind the world of hurried days and restless nights. The air grows lighter here, touched with something ancient and eternal. Above you, the great Lothlórien trees stretch their mighty arms toward a sky that seems perpetually touched by twilight's gentle glow. These are not ordinary trees. They're the guardians of time itself, their trunks silver smooth as moonlight, their branches reaching heights that dwarf the greatest towers of men. And their leaves, their leaves sing a song that has never ceased, not since the first dawn broke over Middle-earth. You notice how the light here behaves differently. It doesn't simply fall from above, but seems to flow like liquid starlight through every leaf, every branch. The golden radiance dances and shifts, creating patterns that your eyes cannot quite follow, yet your heart understands completely. This is the light of the two trees, preserved here in this sacred grove, kept alive by the power of Ninya, the ring of water that Galadriel bears. As you walk deeper into this enchanted realm, the very ground beneath your feet seems to pulse with life. Soft moss carpets your path, and tiny flowers bloom in your footsteps, white and silver blossoms that glow with their own inner light. The air carries scents that exist nowhere else in Middle-earth. The perfume of Eleanor flowers, the crisp sweetness of Nimrodel, and underneath it all, the clean, pure essence of magic itself. The forest responds to your presence, not with alarm or warning, but with gentle curiosity. You sense rather than see the ancient spirits that dwell within these trees, the memories of ages past that flow like sap through every root and branch. They whisper of the elder days, when the world was young and the elves first awakened beneath the stars. They sing of journeys across the sea from Valinor, of kingdoms built and lost, of love that endures beyond the breaking of the world. Here, time moves differently. Minutes stretch into hours, or perhaps hours compress into heartbeats. The urgency that drives the outside world has no power in this place. Your breathing naturally slows, matching the ancient rhythm of the forest itself. The tension in your shoulders begins to melt away, flowing out of you like water returning to the sea. A gentle breeze stirs the golden canopy above, and the sound it makes is like the most beautiful music you have ever heard. Not the harsh noise of wind through dead leaves, but a symphony of countless silver bells, each note perfectly harmonized with its neighbors. The Lothlórien leaves dance in this ethereal wind, and their movement creates patterns of light and shadow that seem to tell stories without words. You pause beside one of the great tree trunks, its bark smooth and warm beneath your palm. Through your touch, you feel the life that flows within, not just the sap and fiber of a tree, but something far greater. This Lothlórien has stood here for thousands of years, watching over the wood, singing its part in the great chorus that preserves this sanctuary from the darkness of the world. The peace here is absolute. It seeps into your bones, flows through your veins, settles into the deepest corners of your mind where worry and fear once lurked. Those shadows cannot survive in this light. They dissolve like morning mist before the sun, leaving only tranquility in their wake. And still, that music continues. It rises from the earth itself, flows down from the star-touched canopy, emanates from the very air around you. It is the Song of Lothlórien, and is calling you deeper into its embrace, promising rest beyond anything you have ever known. You find yourself drawn forward, not by any external force, but by a longing that has awakened in your heart, a desire to discover the source of this eternal music, to understand the secrets that these ancient trees have guarded for so long. Each step takes you further from the concerns of the waking world, deeper into a realm where dreams and reality intertwine like lovers' hands. The golden light grows softer now, more intimate, as if the forest itself is preparing for the deeper mysteries that await. The path winds gently between the massive trunks, leading you towards something wonderful, something that your soul recognizes even though your mind cannot yet comprehend it. But you are not alone in this sacred wood. Even now, as you walk and wander through the golden shadows, other eyes watch your progress, not with suspicion or threat, but with the careful attention of guardians who have protected this realm for countless ages. They move through the trees like whispers, like half-remembered dreams, ensuring that no harm can touch this sanctuary of peace. The Galadhon, the tree people of Lothlórien, have seen your approach long before you took your first step upon their borders. In hidden flets high among the Lothlórien branches, the Wardens of the Golden would maintain their eternal vigil. They are the Watchers, the Guardians, the silent protectors who ensure that Lothlórien remains a haven of peace in a world too often touched by shadow. You sense them now, though they remain unseen. A flutter of movement in the canopy above might be a branch stirring in the breeze, or it might be an elf lord wrapped in a cloak of gray and green, observing your passage with eyes older than the memory of men. The feeling is not unsettling, quite the opposite. Their presence is a comfort, a gentle assurance that you are safe, that you are welcomed in this hallowed place. These Watchers have stood guard here since the Second Age began, their vigil unbroken through the long years. They have seen kingdoms rise and fall in the world beyond their borders, have watched the race of men spread across Middle-earth while they themselves remain constant as the stars. Their duty is sacred, their purpose clear, to preserve this last fragment of the elder days, this final sanctuary where the ancient beauty of the world endures unchanged. One of them steps forward now. Those steps is perhaps the wrong word. He seems to flow from shadow into the golden light, his movements so graceful that it appears more like a dream than reality. Tall and fair he stands, clad in seamless gray that shifts and changes like water, like smoke, like moonlight on leaves. His face is ageless, bearing the wisdom of centuries yet unmarked by the weight of years. His eyes hold starlight, not metaphorically, but literally, as if he carries within himself a piece of the first night sky. He speaks, and his voice is like the sound of wind through silver chimes. The words are in the ancient tongue, Sindarin, but somehow you understand their meaning without translation. They speak of welcome, of peace, of sanctuary freely given to all who come with pure intent. There is no challenge in his greeting, no test or trial to pass. The forest itself has already judged your heart and found it worthy of the peace it offers. The warden gestures, and you understand that you are free to continue on your path. But there is something more in his gesture, something that speaks of deeper mysteries awaiting those who truly listen to the song of the wood. His eyes follow you as you move deeper into the forest, not with surveillance, but with the gentle care of a shepherd watching over his flock. Other watchers join him now, emerging from their hidden posts among the leaves. They move with the same fluid grace, the same timeless dignity. Some bear the silver-handled knives of their order. Others carry the curved bows of Lothlórien wood, for which the Galadrim are renowned. But these weapons are not meant for war. They are tools of guardianship, symbols of their commitment to protect the peace of their realm. As you walk, you begin to understand that the very trees themselves are part of this great watch. The Lothlórien are not merely plants, but conscious beings who share in the guardianship of Lothlórien. Their roots speak to each other across vast distances, carrying news and warnings throughout the wood. Their branches offer platforms and walkways for the elven wardens. Their leaves whisper counsel and comfort to all who dwell beneath their protection. The sensation of being watched fades, replaced by something even more comforting. The feeling of being truly seen, truly known, and truly accepted. The forest has looked into your heart and embraced what it found there. The wardens have measured your spirit and welcomed you as kin. You are no longer a stranger in this place, but a guest, a friend, a temporary member of the fellowship that guards the light of ancient days. This acceptance brings with it its own peace, deeper than any you have known. The last vestiges of tension drain from your body. The final whispers of anxiety fade from your mind. You are safe here, safer than you have ever been, protected not just by the watchful elves, but by the very essence of the wood itself. The path continues to wind between the great trunks, leading you toward the heart of Lothlórien. And there, you sense, waits someone whose presence makes even the eternal watchers bow their heads in reverence. Someone whose voice gave birth to the very songs that preserve this sanctuary. Someone whose wisdom spans the ages, whose power rivals that of the mightiest wizards, yet whose compassion embraces all living things. The golden light grows brighter as you approach, but it is not harsh or blinding. Instead, it seems to emanate from a source of pure love, pure wisdom, pure peace. Each step brings you closer to a presence that feels like coming home after a lifetime of wandering, like finding the answer to a question you didn't know you were asking. In the distance, barely audible at first, but growing clearer with each passing moment, you hear a voice singing. It is unlike any sound you have ever encountered, neither fully of earth nor of heaven, but something that transcends both. It speaks of starlight and sea foam, of twilight in the undying lands, of love that endures beyond the ending of the world. Ahead lies the heart of Lothlórien, where dwells the Lady of the Golden Wood, and her song is calling you home. The melody reaches you first, threading its way between the Lothlórien trunks like silver water flowing over golden stones. It is a sound that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere, as if the very air has learned to sing. Your heart recognizes it immediately, though your mind struggles to comprehend how music can carry such depths of meaning, such oceans of emotion. This is no mortal song. This is the voice of one who walked beneath the light of the two trees in Valinor, who has seen the undying lands in their pristine glory. This is Galadriel, the Lady of Lothlórien, and her voice carries within it the memory of paradise itself. The golden light grows brighter as you approach, but it is not harsh or blinding. Instead, it seems to emanate from a source of pure love, pure wisdom, pure peace. Each step brings you closer to a presence that feels like coming home after a lifetime of wandering, like finding the answer to a question you didn't know you were asking. In the distance, barely audible at first, but growing clearer with each passing moment, you hear a voice singing. It is unlike any sound you have ever encountered, neither fully of earth nor of heaven, but something that transcends both. It speaks of starlight and sea foam, of twilight in the undying lands, of love that endures beyond the ending of the world. Ahead lies the heart of Lothlórien, where dwells the Lady of the Golden Wood, and her song is calling you home. The melody reaches you first, threading its way between the Maulorn trunks like silver water flowing over golden stones. It is a sound that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere, as if the very air has learned to sing. Your heart recognizes it immediately, though your mind struggles to comprehend how music can carry such depths of meaning, such oceans of emotion. This is no mortal song. This is the voice of one who walked beneath the light of the two trees in Valinor, who has seen the undying lands in their pristine glory. This is Galadriel, the Lady of Lothlórien, and her voice carries within it the memory of paradise itself. The Lady of Lothlórien is tall and fair beyond the measure of mortal women, her hair like spun gold catching and holding the light of stars. She wears robes of white that seem to be woven from moonbeams themselves, and upon her finger gleams Nenya, the ring of water, one of the three great rings of power forged for the elves alone. But it is her eyes that capture you completely. Deep as wells, bright as stars, they hold within them the wisdom of ages uncounted. They have seen the birth of the sun and moon, witnessed the first rising of the Silmarils, gazed upon the face of Eru Iluvatar himself in the music of creation. Yet for all their ancient wisdom, there is nothing cold or distant in those eyes. They are filled with love, love for her people, for the woods she protects, for all the children of Iluvatar who struggle against the darkness of the world. Her song continues as she stands beside the mirror, and you realize that she is not merely singing to the water, but to something far greater. She is singing to time itself, to the very fabric of creation, weaving spells of preservation that keep this sanctuary safe from the corruption that threatens the wider world. Her voice rises and falls like the rhythm of waves upon some distant shore, each note carrying power beyond measure, yet gentle as a mother's lullaby. The mirror before her shows glimpses of what was, what is, and what yet may be. In its depths, you catch fleeting images that your mind can barely process. White ships sailing into the uttermost west, a great eye of fire searching the darkness, hands working at forge and loom, lovers meeting beneath starlight, children playing in gardens of eternal spring. The visions come and go like half-remembered dreams, beautiful and terrible and infinitely sad. The Lady of Lothlórien is tall and fair beyond the measure of mortal women. her hair like spun gold catching and holding the light of stars. She wears robes of white that seem to be woven from moonbeams themselves, and upon her finger gleams Nenya, the ring of water, one of the 3 great rings of power forged for the elves alone. But it is her eyes that capture you completely. Deep as wells, bright as stars, they hold within them the wisdom of ages uncounted. They have seen the birth of the sun and moon, witnessed the first rising of the Silmarils, gazed upon the face of Eru Iluvatar himself in the music of creation. Yet for all their ancient wisdom, there is nothing cold or distant in those eyes. They are filled with love for her people, for the woods she protects, for all the children of Iluvatar who struggle against the darkness of the world. Her song continues as she stands beside the mirror, and you realize that she is not merely singing to the water, but to something far greater. She is singing to time itself, to the very fabric of creation, weaving spells of preservation that keep this sanctuary safe from the corruption that threatens the wider world. Her voice rises and falls like the rhythm of waves upon some distant shore, each note carrying power beyond measure, yet gentle as a mother's lullaby. The mirror before her shows glimpses of what was, what is, and what yet may be. In its depths, you catch fleeting images that your mind can barely process. White ships sailing into the uttermost west, a great eye of fire searching the darkness, hands working at forge and loom, lovers meeting beneath starlight, children playing in gardens of eternal spring. The visions come and go like half-remembered dreams, beautiful and terrible and infinitely sad. The music grows in complexity and depth, yet never loses its essential quality of peace. It is as if you are hearing the very music of creation that Eru sang at the beginning of time, the theme from which all beauty springs. The singers arrange themselves in a great circle around the clearing, their voices weaving together like streams flowing toward the sea, each maintaining its unique character while contributing to the greater whole. Galadriel's voice soars above them all, not dominating but completing, like the highest star that gives meaning to all the lesser lights. Her song tells of the undying lands across the sea, of gardens where no flower ever fades, of halls where the light of the 2 trees still shines undiminished. But more than that, it tells of the peace that waits for all who lay down their burdens, all who surrender their struggles to the greater harmony of existence. As the music continues, you find yourself settling onto the soft grass beside the mirror, your body relaxing completely for the first time in memory. The lady's song is working its healing magic, drawing out the poisons of stress and fear, replacing them with tranquility so profound it seems to reach into your very bones. The mirror's surface stills, becoming a perfect reflector of the starlight above. In its depths, you see not visions of distant times and places, but reflections of your own heart. All the love you have known, all the beauty you have witnessed, all the moments of pure joy that make life worth living. The pain and sorrow are there too, but transformed, made part of a greater pattern that suddenly makes perfect sense. Galadriel's song becomes a bridge now, a pathway leading from the waking world toward the realm of dreams and rest. Her voice grows softer, more intimate, as if she is singing a lullaby meant for you alone. The other singers fade into gentle harmonies, becoming like the whisper of wind through leaves, the murmur of distant water, the soft breathing of the forest itself as it settles into its own peaceful slumber. The lady approaches you now, her movements like flowing water, like drifting starlight. She places a gentle hand upon your forehead, and her touch is cool and soothing, carrying with it the peace of deep waters, the tranquility of mountain streams. Her blessing flows through you, washing away the last remnants of tension, leaving only serenity in its wake. Her song continues, but it is changing now, becoming something even more beautiful, more hypnotic. It is calling you to follow, to leave behind the clearing and the mirror, to journey deeper into the heart of Lothlórien, where even greater peace awaits. The melody becomes a pathway of silver light leading through the forest, and your spirit rises to follow where the lady's voice leads. But there is one more place she would have you visit before you surrender completely to the dreams that await. One more song she would have you hear, one more blessing she would bestow. Her voice is calling you toward moving water, toward a river that carries its own music, its own memories of love and loss and eternal beauty. Come, her song whispers, come and hear the tale of Nimrodel, and let her silver river carry you toward the deepest peace of all. The lady's song transforms as she leads you from the clearing, becoming a melody that speaks of flowing water and ancient love. You find yourself following a path of silver light that winds between the great Malorn trunks, descending gently toward the sound of running water that grows clearer with each step. The music of the stream reaches your ears first, not the harsh babbling of mountain torrents, but a voice as pure and sweet as liquid silver. This is no ordinary watercourse. This is Nimrodel, the river that bears the name of one of the most beloved of all the elves of Lothlórien, and her song still flows within its waters, as eternal as the stars themselves. As you approach the riverbank, Galadriel's voice weaves the tale within her melody, telling the story without words, painting pictures in your mind with nothing but pure music. You see her in the song, Nimrodel the beautiful, fairest of all the elven maids who dwelt in the Golden Wood. Her hair was like sunlight on water, her eyes bright as stars reflected in a still pool, and her voice when she sang could make the very flowers bloom out of season. The river curves through the forest in graceful meanders, its banks clothed in moss and small flowers that glow with their own gentle light. Ancient willows lean over the water, their trailing branches creating curtains of green and silver that dance in the perpetual twilight. The current moves slowly here, in no hurry to reach its destination, content to flow through this timeless realm where beauty never fades. You settle beside the water's edge, and immediately you understand why this place was beloved by the elf maiden whose name it bears. There is something infinitely peaceful about the movement of the current, the way it catches and reflects the golden light filtering down through the Malorn leaves. The water speaks in whispers, telling stories of all the years it has flowed through the heart of Lothlórien, carrying with it the songs and dreams of those who have walked its banks. Galadriel's voice continues the tale, and in her melody you hear the tragedy that made this river sacred. Nimrodel loved Amroth, Prince of Lothlórien, and he loved her in return with a devotion that became legend even among the elves, who were no strangers to love that endures beyond the breaking of the world. Their love was like a perfect song, each note in harmony with the other, creating music that enriched all who heard it. But shadow came to Middle-earth, as shadow always does. The realm of the dwarves in Moria fell to darkness, and evil things crept through the mountains toward the borders of the Golden Wood. Nimrodel, daughter of the light, could not bear to remain so close to such corruption. She fled south, seeking havens where the ancient beauty still endured untainted. Amroth followed, as love compelled him to do. They planned to meet at the Grey Havens, to take ship together to the undying lands where no shadow could ever touch them again. But fate, which cares nothing for the desires of lovers, had other plans. Storms rose on the sea, and Amroth's ship was driven far from shore. In his desperation to reach his beloved, he cast himself into the waves, and the hungry waters took him. Nimrodel waited by the shore until her heart finally understood that her prince would never come. Some say she sailed west alone, seeking him in the undying lands. Others believe she still wanders the coastlands, searching for her lost love until the end of time. But all agree that her voice joined the music of this river, her song becoming part of its eternal flow. As Galadriel's melody tells this tale, you feel no sadness, only a deep appreciation for love so pure it could not be diminished even by loss. The river sings Nimrodel's song now, carrying her voice through the heart of Lothlórien, keeping alive the memory of perfect devotion. Her love for Amroth has become part of the music that preserves this realm, part of the magic that keeps it safe from the darkness of the world. You lean back against the moss-covered trunk of a great willow, letting the sound of the flowing water wash over you like a physical presence. The current moves with hypnotic rhythm, each ripple catching the light and casting dancing patterns on the overhanging branches. It is impossible to watch this flowing beauty without feeling your own thoughts begin to flow with it, becoming part of the river's eternal song. The water speaks to you now in a voice that needs no words. It tells of its journey from the high places of the mountains, down through valley and glen, gathering strength and song as it flows. It has carried the reflections of countless stars, has mirrored the faces of lovers who came to walk its banks, has sung lullabies to elven children playing at its edge. Galadriel settles beside you, her presence like a warm embrace. Her song has become wordless now, a melody that flows with the current, rises with the mist, dances with the light on the water. She dips her hand into the stream, and where her fingers touch, the water glows with silver fire, creating ripples of pure light that spread outward in perfect circles. The lady's voice blends seamlessly with the river's music, creating harmonies that seem to unlock some secret chamber of your heart. All the loves you have known, all the moments of connection and beauty in your life, rise to the surface like flowers blooming in spring. But there is no pain in these memories now, only gratitude for having experienced such grace, such blessing. Other voices join the song now. The spirits of the river itself, the echo of Nimrodel's voice that still flows within the current, the whispered harmonies of all who have ever found peace beside these silver waters. The music grows in complexity and depth, yet never loses its essential character of flowing, moving, carrying all things gently toward their destined rest. You realize that your own breathing has synchronized with the rhythm of the current, your heartbeat matching the eternal pulse of the water. The boundaries between yourself and the river begin to blur, as if you are becoming part of its song, part of its ceaseless journey through the heart of the Golden Wood. The sensation is not frightening, but deeply comforting. You are merging not with something alien, but with something that has always been part of you. The flowing of time, the movement of life itself, the current that carries all things from source to sea. Your worries and fears are like leaves cast upon the water, carried away by the gentle current until they disappear around the bend and are forgotten. Galadriel's song becomes a bridge now, connecting the music of the river to something even deeper, even more profound. In the distance, you hear new melodies arising, not from water this time, but from the very trees themselves. The Lothlórien are adding their voices to the great symphony, their ancient wisdom flowing into the music like tributaries joining a mighty stream. The lady rises gracefully, her movement like mist rising from the water's surface. Her eyes meet yours, and in them you see infinite compassion, infinite understanding. She knows that you are ready now for the deeper mysteries, ready to hear the songs that the trees themselves sing in the deep watches of the night. Her hand extends toward you, offering to lead you to places where the music grows even more beautiful, even more healing. The river's song continues behind you as you rise to follow, but it does not fade. Instead, it becomes part of a growing symphony, each new voice adding to the harmony without overwhelming what came before. As you walk away from Nimrodel's bank, you carry her song within you now. The river's music has become part of your own inner rhythm, a current of peace that will flow through your dreams, carrying you gently toward the deepest rest. And ahead, the ancient trees are calling, their own melodies joining the eternal song that is Lothlórien. The path leads upward now, winding between trunks so vast that entire houses could be built within their hollow hearts. These are the eldest of the Lothlórien, the firstborn children of the Golden Wood, and they have been singing their songs since the world was young. Their voices are deep and resonant, like the sound of wind through vast cathedral spaces, like the echo of creation itself in the halls of eternity. As you ascend the gentle slope, following Galadriel's luminous form between the ancient trees, a new music begins to reveal itself. It starts as the faintest whisper, so subtle you might mistake it for the natural sounds of the forest, the rustle of leaves, the creak of mighty branches, the soft sigh of wind through the canopy. But gradually, as your ears attune themselves to the deeper harmonies of Lothlórien, you begin to distinguish the true song that flows beneath these surface sounds. Not metaphorically, not in some poetic sense, but literally, actually singing. Each Lothlórien contributes its own voice to a vast chorus that spans the entire forest, a symphony so complex and beautiful that mortal minds can barely comprehend its scope. The music flows through their roots, travels up their mighty trunks, emerges from every leaf and branch to join the endless harmony that preserves and protects this sacred realm. Galadriel pauses beside one of the greatest trees, its silver trunk soaring up into the star-touched darkness like a pillar supporting the very sky. She places her palm against its smooth bark, and immediately the song becomes clearer, more distinct, as if her touch has somehow tuned your hearing to frequencies beyond normal perception. The tree's voice is ancient beyond measure, carrying within it the memory of ages upon ages. It sings of the first dawn that broke over Middle-earth, of the awakening of the elves beneath the stars, of the great journey from Quivionen to the shores of the Blessed Realm. Its song tells of sorrow and joy intermingled, of loss that leads to greater understanding, of love that endures beyond the ending of all things. But this single voice, magnificent as it is represents only one note in a vast symphony. As you listen more carefully, you begin to distinguish the other parts. The younger trees adding their bright harmonies, the saplings contributing delicate countermelodies, the ancient root systems providing the deep bass notes that anchor the entire composition. Each tree sings according to its nature, its age, its position in the great pattern of the wood, yet all blend together in perfect harmony. The lady's voice joins with the tree song now, her melody weaving between the deeper tones like silver thread through green cloth. She sings of the power that flows through Ninya, the white ring, using its strength not to dominate or control, but to preserve and protect. The trees respond to her song, their voices growing stronger, more confident, as if her presence reminds them of their purpose, their sacred duty to maintain this sanctuary of peace. You find yourself drawn to lean against the great trunk, and the moment your body makes contact with the ancient bark, the song flows directly into you. It travels through your bones, resonates in your chest, fills your mind with harmonies so beautiful they bring tears to your eyes. You are not just hearing the tree's song now. You are part of it, your own life rhythm joining the vast composition that is the voice of the forest itself. Through the tree's music, you experience its memories directly. You see the golden wood as it was in the elder days, when the light of the Silmarils still shone in Middle-earth and the elves were young and fair beyond imagining. You witness the planting of the first Lothlórien seeds, carried from the drowned Isle of Numenor by refugees who sought to preserve something beautiful in a world growing darker. You feel the slow growth of centuries, the patient accumulation of wisdom, the deep satisfaction of providing shelter and sanctuary for countless generations. Other trees add their voices to your experience now, each sharing glimpses of their own memories, their own perspectives on the long history of the wood. You see through their eyes the rise and fall of kingdoms, the passing of ages, the slow changes that time brings to all things except this one protected realm. The tree song creates a tapestry of memory and meaning that encompasses the entire scope of Middle-earth's history, yet focuses always on the themes of preservation, protection, and peace. The music begins to have a physical effect on you now, the deep vibrations of the ancient voices resonating through your body, loosening tensions you didn't even know you carried. Each note seems to find some knot of stress or worry and gently dissolve it, replacing it with perfect tranquility. Your breathing slows to match the patient rhythm of the trees, your heartbeat synchronizing with the pulse of life that flows through their mighty trunks. Galadriel moves among the trees like a conductor guiding her orchestra, her presence bringing out new harmonies, encouraging different voices to come forward and share their songs. Where she passes, the music grows richer, more complex, yet never loses its essential quality of peace. She is the heart of this symphony, the consciousness that gives direction and purpose to the individual voices, binding them together into a single, unified expression of perfect harmony. The lady approaches a particularly ancient Lothlórien, its trunk so vast that a dozen men holding hands could not encircle it. This tree is old beyond reckoning, one of the first planted in the Golden Wood, and its voice carries authority that the younger trees instinctively respect. When it sings, the entire forest listens, and its melodies become the foundation upon which all other songs are built. Galadriel speaks to this eldest tree in the ancient tongue, her words flowing like music themselves. She asks it to share its deepest wisdom, to sing the songs that only the most ancient remember, the melodies that connect this forest to the very roots of creation. The great tree responds with a voice like distant thunder, like the sound of mountains being born, like the first words spoken at the beginning of time. Its song tells of the music of the Aenir, the great theme sung by the divine powers of the creation of the world. In those primal harmonies, this very forest was conceived, its role in the grand design established before the first stone was laid or the first star kindled. The Lothlórien trees are not merely plants, but conscious participants in the cosmic symphony, guardians of harmony in a world too often touched by discord. As the eldest tree sings, its voice is joined by all the others, creating a crescendo of such beauty and power that you feel lifted out of yourself, transported to realms where music and meaning are one and the same. The song encompasses everything. Every leaf that has fallen, every bird that has nested in the branches, every moment of peace that has been granted to travelers in this sacred space. The music reaches a climax that seems to shake the very foundations of the earth, yet it is not violent or disturbing. Instead, it is like the moment when all the instruments of a vast orchestra finally come together in perfect unity, when every voice finds its place in the greater harmony. You feel yourself becoming part of this unity, your own small song adding to the magnificent whole. Then, gradually, the music begins to soften, to settle into the gentle rhythms that will carry you through the night. The trees have shared their greatest treasures with you, their memories, their wisdom, their unshakable peace. Now they are preparing to cradle you in their embrace, to sing you lullabies older than the mountains, melodies that will carry you gently into the deepest, most restorative sleep you have ever known. Galadriel's voice rises one final time above the settling symphony, calling you to follow her toward the heart of the tree city, where the songs of the forest blend with the voices of the elves who make their homes among the branches. There, in the canopy halls of Caras Galadhon, the night's greatest wonders await. Its song tells of the music of the Aenir, the great theme sung by the divine powers of the creation of the world. In those primal harmonies, this very forest was conceived, its role in the grand design established before the first stone was laid or the first star kindled. The Lothlórien trees are not merely plants, but conscious participants in the cosmic symphony, guardians of harmony in a world too often touched by discord. As the eldest tree sings, its voice is joined by all the others, creating a crescendo of such beauty and power that you feel lifted out of yourself, transported to realms where music and meaning are one and the same. The song encompasses everything. Every leaf that has fallen, every bird that has nested in the branches, every moment of peace that has been granted to travelers in this sacred space. The music reaches a climax that seems to shake the very foundations of the earth, yet it is not violent or disturbing. Instead, it is like the moment when all the instruments of a vast orchestra finally come together in perfect unity, when every voice finds its place in the greater harmony. You feel yourself becoming part of this unity, your own small song adding to the magnificent whole. Then, gradually, the music begins to soften, to settle into the gentle rhythms that will carry you through the night. The trees have shared their greatest treasures with you, their memories, their wisdom, their unshakable peace. Now they are preparing to cradle you in their embrace, to sing you lullabies older than the mountains, melodies that will carry you gently into the deepest, most restorative sleep you have ever known. Galadriel's voice rises one final time above the settling symphony, calling you to follow her toward the heart of the tree city, where the songs of the forest blend with the voices of the elves who make their homes among the branches. There, in the canopy halls of Caras Galadhon, the night's greatest wonders await. But even as you prepare to follow the lady deeper into the golden wood, the tree song continues around you, becoming part of your own inner music. The ancient harmonies have taken root in your soul, and they will continue to play there long after you have left this magical realm, a source of peace and strength that nothing in the waking world can ever take away. The trees part before you like a living gateway, their branches forming an archway of silver and gold through which Galadriel leads you upward. You are ascending now, not just in altitude, but in wonder, climbing toward the crown jewel of Lothlórien, the great tree city of Caras Galadhon, where the elves have built their homes among the mighty branches of the Mallorn, creating a civilization that exists in perfect harmony with the forest itself. As you rise through the natural terraces formed by the great roots and the gentle slope of the hill, the quality of light around you begins to change once again. The golden radiance that bathes the entire forest takes on new dimensions here, enhanced by the glow of countless elven lanterns that hang like fallen stars from every branch and platform. These are not harsh electric lights or smoky torches, but something far more beautiful. Globes of crystal that contain captured starlight, mirrors that reflect and multiply the natural luminescence of the wood. The path spirals upward around the greatest Mallorn of all, a tree so vast that its trunk could house an entire city, so tall that its crown disappears into the star-filled darkness above. Built within and around this mighty monarch are the dwellings of the Galadrim, the tree people of Lothlórien, structures so seamlessly integrated with the living wood that it is impossible to tell where tree ends and architecture begins. Windows of soft light appear in the great trunk as you ascend, revealing glimpses of elven homes within the living wood. Through one casement you see an elf lord working at a loom, weaving cloth of silver and gold that seems to capture moonlight in its threads. Through another, an elven maiden tends a garden of crystal flowers that bloom with their own inner radiance. In a third, children play with toys carved from Mallorn wood, their laughter adding bright notes to the surrounding symphony. The sight of these peaceful domestic scenes fills you with a warmth that goes beyond physical comfort. Here is proof that beauty and harmony can exist in the world, that there are places where kindness reigns, where art and craft flourish, where the simple joys of life are celebrated and preserved. The elves of Lothlórien have created not just a refuge from the darkness, but a positive example of what life can be when wisdom and love guide every action. Bridges of woven branches span the spaces between the great trees, creating walkways that seem to float in the starlit air. Elves move across these aerial paths with effortless grace, their feet making no sound on the living wood, their passage marked only by the soft rustle of their robes and the gentle melodies they hum as they go about their evening tasks. You find yourself on one of these bridges now, walking on what feels like solid ground despite being hundreds of feet above the forest floor. The sensation is not at all frightening. The bridge is as secure as any stone span, woven from living branches that continue to grow and strengthen even as they serve their architectural purpose. Below you, the goldenwood spreads out in all directions, a sea of silver and gold touched by starlight, beautiful beyond description. Galadriel leads you toward the heart of the Tree City, where the greatest chamber in all of Caras Galadhon awaits. This is the hall where the Lord and Lady of Lothlórien hold court, where the greatest of the Galadrim gather to sing the ancient songs and share the wisdom of the ages. As you approach, you can hear music spilling out through the wide doorways. Not the wild harmony of the forest, but something more structured, more formal, yet no less beautiful. The great hall is carved from the living heart of the Mallorn, its walls formed by the tree's own wood, polished to a shine that reflects the lantern light like golden mirrors. The ceiling soars overhead, lost in shadows that dance with warm light, while the floor is carpeted with the softest moss, starred with tiny flowers that glow like earthbound constellations. Elves fill the hall, tall and fair, dressed in robes of every color that exists in nature and several that exist only in their own imagination. Some sit on benches carved from single pieces of Mallorn wood. Others recline on cushions stuffed with flower petals and thistledown. All are listening to the music that fills the space, their faces rapt with attention, their eyes bright with the joy that comes from hearing beauty perfectly expressed. At the far end of the hall, on a dais of living wood that grows up from the floor itself, stands Celeborn, Lord of Lothlórien. Tall and noble he appears, his hair silver as starlight, his face bearing the ageless beauty of the Eldar. Beside him, Galadriel takes her place, and together they seem to embody all the wisdom and grace of their ancient people. But tonight is not a night for formal ceremony or royal court. Tonight is a celebration of music itself, a gathering where the elves share the songs that make their lives beautiful, the melodies that connect them to their past and carry them toward their future. The music that fills the hall is not performed for an audience, but shared among friends, each voice adding to the harmony, each listener contributing their own joy to the collective experience. A young elf maiden steps forward now, her voice clear and sweet as mountain water. She sings of starlight on water, of dawn breaking over meadows filled with flowers, of love that grows stronger with each passing day. Her melody is simple but perfectly crafted, each note placed with precision yet flowing with natural grace. As she sings, others join their voices to hers, creating harmonies that lift the simple song into something transcendent. The music continues through the night, not in the rushed, frantic way of mortal entertainments, but with the patient rhythm of immortal beings who have all the time in the world to perfect their art. Song follows song, each building on what came before, each adding new layers of meaning and beauty to the ongoing symphony. You find yourself seated on a cushion of silk and down, a cup of cordial in your hands that tastes of summer afternoons and honey from flowers that bloom in distant valleys. The drink warms you from within, not with the harsh heat of strong wine, but with a gentle glow that spreads through your body like liquid sunlight. Every sip brings new flavors: apple blossoms and morning dew, the essence of growing things, and the peace of quiet gardens. As the evening progresses, the music begins to weave its spell around you more completely. The formal structure of the songs gives way to something more impromptu, more intimate. Small groups form throughout the hall, each creating their own harmonies, their own interpretations of the ancient melodies. The result is not chaos, but a kind of beautiful complexity, like a garden where many different flowers bloom together in perfect accord. Galadriel's voice rises above the others now, not dominating, but completing, like a golden thread that binds all the separate melodies into one glorious tapestry. She sings of the undying lands, of the peace that waits across the sea, of the joy that comes to those who surrender their struggles to the greater harmony of existence. Her song is both a promise and an invitation, a doorway opening onto realms of rest and beauty beyond imagining. The other voices begin to fade now, one by one, as the elves settle into listening rather than singing. But the music does not end. It transforms, becoming softer, more intimate, more specifically designed to carry tired souls into peaceful sleep. Galadriel's melody becomes a lullaby now, joined by just a few other voices, creating harmonies that seem to wrap around you like the softest blanket. The lady's song speaks of letting go now, of releasing all the burdens and worries that weigh down the spirit, of trusting in the greater wisdom that guides all things toward their proper end. Her voice becomes a bridge between waking and sleeping, a pathway that leads from the conscious mind into the realm of dreams and rest. Around you, the great hall grows quieter, more peaceful. The lanterns dim to a soft glow that barely illuminates the faces of the listeners, most of whom have settled into positions of comfortable repose. The night is deepening, and even the immortal elves recognize the need for rest, for the quiet time when the soul can process the day's experiences and prepare for whatever tomorrow may bring. But you're not ready for ordinary sleep yet. Galadriel's song is calling you to something deeper, something more profound than simple physical rest. Her melody has become a pathway now, a bridge of pure music leading toward a realm where dreams and reality merge, where the deepest healing can take place. The lady is offering you the gift of elven sleep, the rest that renews not just the body, but the very essence of being. Her voice grows softer still, more intimate, as if she is singing for you alone. The other elves fade into the background, becoming part of the ambient peace of the hall, while Galadriel's melody creates a private space around you, a cocoon of perfect tranquility where nothing can disturb your peace. The song is changing now, becoming something beyond ordinary music, something that speaks directly to the deepest parts of your being. It carries you beyond the great hall, beyond the tree city, beyond even the borders of Lothlórien itself, into realms where time has no meaning and peace is the only reality. You are ready now for the final journey, the ultimate gift that the Lady of the Golden Wood has prepared for you. Her song is calling you to walk paths of silver light, to explore gardens where eternal spring reigns, to discover the ultimate source of all the music you have heard this night. In the realm of dreams beyond time, the greatest wonders of all await your discovery. Galadriel's voice becomes pure light now, no longer sound but illumination itself, guiding you along pathways that exist only in the realm between sleeping and waking. You find yourself walking on roads of silver fire that stretch across landscapes of impossible beauty, terrain that shifts and flows like living music made visible. This is the country of dreams, but not the confused, fragmentary visions of ordinary sleep. This is Elven Dream, clear and purposeful and filled with meaning. The path you walk glows beneath your feet, each step creating ripples of light that spread outward like circles on a still pond. You're no longer bound by the laws of the physical world. Here, intention and movement are one, desire and fulfillment separated only by the space of a heartbeat. You move not by walking, but by willing yourself forward, flowing along the silver road like a thought traveling through a peaceful mind. Around you, the dreamscape unfolds in patterns of breathtaking beauty. Gardens stretch to the horizon, filled with flowers that exist only in this realm between worlds. Blossoms of liquid starlight, trees that bear fruit made of crystallized music, streams that flow upward toward skies painted with colors that have no names in any mortal tongue. The very air shimmers with possibilities, with the potential for beauty that exceeds anything the waking world can offer. Galadriel walks beside you now, but she is no longer merely the Lady of Lothlórien. Here, in the dream realm, she appears as she truly is, one of the mighty among the Eldar, a being of power and wisdom who participated in the very creation of the world. Her presence is like a star walking, like concentrated light given form and consciousness. Yet for all her majesty, her manner toward you remains infinitely gentle, infinitely caring. Galadriel's voice becomes pure light now, no longer sound but illumination itself, guiding you along pathways that exist only in the realm between sleeping and waking. You find yourself walking on roads of silver fire that stretch across landscapes of impossible beauty, terrain that shifts and flows like living music made visible. This is the country of dreams, but not the confused, fragmentary visions of ordinary sleep. This is Elven Dream, clear and purposeful and filled with meaning. The path you walk glows beneath your feet, each step creating ripples of light that spread outward like circles on a still pond. You're no longer bound by the laws of the physical world. Here, intention and movement are one, desire and fulfillment separated only by the space of a heartbeat. You move not by walking, but by willing yourself forward, flowing along the silver road like a thought traveling through a peaceful mind. Around you, the dreamscape unfolds in patterns of breathtaking beauty. Gardens stretch to the horizon, filled with flowers that exist only in this realm between worlds. Blossoms of liquid starlight, trees that bear fruit made of crystallized music, streams that flow upward toward skies painted with colors that have no names in any mortal tongue. The very air shimmers with possibilities, with the potential for beauty that exceeds anything the waking world can offer. Galadriel walks beside you now, but she is no longer merely the Lady of Lothlórien. Here, in the dream realm, she appears as she truly is, one of the mighty among the Eldar, a being of power and wisdom who participated in the very creation of the world. Her presence is like a star walking, like concentrated light given form and consciousness. Yet for all her majesty, her manner toward you remains infinitely gentle, infinitely caring. Her voice continues its wordless song, but here in the dream realm, the music takes on visible form. Notes of silver and gold flow from her lips like ribbons of light, weaving patterns in the air that tell stories without words, create images without substance, convey emotions too pure and complete for ordinary language to express. The melody she sings is the song of peace itself, the harmony that underlies all creation when the noise and confusion of mortal concerns falls away. You pass through groves where the trees themselves are made of music. Their trunks form from sustained bass notes, their branches growing in the patterns of ancient melodies, their leaves rustling with harmonies that create new compositions with every breeze. Birds nest in these musical trees, but they are no ordinary creatures. They are living songs given wing, melodies that have learned to fly, carrying their music from grove to grove in an endless symphony of aerial beauty. The path leads upward now, toward a hill that rises like a gentle wave from the surrounding landscape. At its summit stands a pavilion of crystal and starlight, its walls transparent as morning air, its roof open to a sky where aurora streams in colors of indescribable beauty. This is the heart of the dream realm, the place where all the night's music converges, where every song you have heard finds its ultimate meaning and purpose. As you ascend the hill, you realize that you're not alone on this journey. Others walk the silver path, some ahead of you, some behind, all moving toward the same destination with the same sense of peaceful purpose. These are fellow travelers in the realm of dreams, souls who have also heard the call of the lady's song and chosen to follow where it leads. You recognize some of them as the elves from Caras Galadhon, but others are strangers, beings from distant times and places who have all been drawn to this sanctuary of perfect peace. The pavilion grows larger as you approach, or perhaps you're growing smaller. In the dream realm, such distinctions have no meaning. What matters is that you arrive at the threshold feeling perfectly prepared for whatever revelation awaits within. Galadriel gestures for you to enter, her smile bright as the first star of evening, her eyes holding all the love and wisdom of ages uncounted. Inside the pavilion, the music reaches its ultimate expression. Here is the source of all the songs you have heard this night. Not a single voice or instrument, but something far more profound. The music emerges from the very structure of reality itself, from the fundamental harmonies that hold the universe together, from the love that moves the sun and stars and keeps all things in their proper order. You find yourself in a place that is simultaneously vast and intimate, infinite and perfectly contained. The pavilion seems to stretch beyond the limits of perception, yet you can touch any wall simply by reaching out your hand. Crystalline formations rise from the floor like frozen music, their surfaces reflecting not light, but pure meaning, pure understanding, pure peace. At the center of this impossible space stands a fountain of liquid light, its waters flowing upward in defiance of gravity, forming patterns of beauty that constantly shift and change, yet never lose their essential perfection. This is the wellspring of all the music, the source from which every song derives its power to heal and comfort and transform. The fountain sings as it flows, its voice the harmony that binds all other harmonies together. Galadriel approaches the fountain and cups the flowing light in her hands. She offers it to you, her gesture conveying an invitation that goes beyond words, beyond thought, into the realm of pure communion. This is the final gift, the ultimate blessing that she has prepared for this moment. The chance to drink from the source of all peace, to taste the very essence of the harmony that preserves and protects all beautiful things. You accept her offer, bringing your hands to meet hers, feeling the liquid light flow between your fingers like water that has been blessed by starlight and transformed into something infinitely precious. As you drink, the music enters your being not through your ears, but through every cell, every particle of your existence. You become the song, and the song becomes you, creating a unity so complete that all sense of separation dissolves. The experience transcends description. You are simultaneously emptied of everything that has ever troubled you and filled with everything that has ever brought you joy. Every moment of beauty you have ever witnessed every act of love you have ever performed or received, every instance of perfect peace you have ever known. All of these come together in a single, overwhelming wave of bliss that washes through your entire being. Time ceases to have any meaning. You might remain in this state for moments or centuries. There is no way to tell, and no need to know. You exist in a perpetual now that contains all moments, all possibilities, all the love and peace that the universe has to offer. This is the sleep that Galadriel promised, but calling it sleep seems inadequate. This is rest so complete, so perfect, that it becomes its own form of awakening. Gradually, gently, you become aware that the lady is singing again, but her song is different now. It is no longer calling you toward this place of ultimate peace, but promising that this peace will remain with you always, that you can return to this fountain whenever you need its healing, its restoration, its absolute tranquility. Her voice becomes a bridge now leading back toward the realm of ordinary dreams. But you carry with you the certainty that what you have experienced here is more real than anything the waking world can offer. As you begin the return journey, following the silver path back through the dream gardens, back toward the tree city, back toward the golden wood, you understand that you have been fundamentally changed by this experience. The music of Lothlórien flows in your veins now. The peace of the lady's realm has taken root in your soul, and nothing in the ordinary world will ever have the power to truly disturb your serenity again. The path leads downward now, through landscapes that grow more familiar with each step, more connected to the physical realm you know. But the transition is gradual, gentle, allowing you to carry as much of the dream realm's beauty with you as your mortal nature can sustain. You're not being cast out of paradise, but given leave to return whenever your spirit requires renewal. Galadriel walks with you still, her presence a constant reassurance that this peace you have found is not temporary, not illusory, but as eternal as the stars themselves. Her song continues, but it is becoming softer now, more like a gentle lullaby designed to ease the transition from transcendent vision to healing sleep. The silver path leads back to the great Mallorn where your journey began, back to the place where you first heard the lady's voice calling you into the heart of the golden wood. But you're not the same person who started this journey. You carry within yourself now all the songs of Lothlórien, all the peace of the elven realm, all the love and wisdom that the lady has shared with you. As you settle once more against the great tree trunk, feeling its ancient strength supporting you, Galadriel's song reaches its gentle conclusion. Her voice becomes a whisper, then a breath, then a memory of perfect beauty that will remain with you always. The other voices of the forest join in a final harmony, the trees singing their deep bass notes, the river adding its liquid melody, the elves of Caras Galadhon contributing their silver voices to create one last moment of perfect musical unity. Then, slowly, peacefully, the music fades into the gentle sounds of the forest at rest. But it does not disappear. It transforms, becoming part of your own inner rhythm, part of your heartbeat, part of your breathing, part of the very essence of who you are. You have drunk from the fountain of peace, and that peace will flow within you always, a source of strength and serenity that nothing in the waking world can ever exhaust. Sleep comes now, but it is not ordinary sleep. It is the deep, healing rest that only those who have walked in the realm of dreams beyond time can know. Your body relaxes completely, every muscle releasing its tension, every nerve settling into perfect calm. Your mind quiets, thoughts slowing and then stilling like ripples on a pond when the wind finally dies. The silver path leads back to the great Mallorn, where your journey began, back to the place where you first heard the lady's voice calling you into the heart of the Golden Wood. But you're not the same person who started this journey. You carry within yourself now all the songs of Lothlórien, all the peace of the Elven realm, all the love and wisdom that the lady has shared with you. As you settle once more against the great tree trunk, feeling its ancient strength supporting you, Galadriel's song reaches its gentle conclusion. Her voice becomes a whisper, then a breath, then a memory of perfect beauty that will remain with you always. The other voices of the forest join in a final harmony, the trees singing their deep bass notes, the river adding its liquid melody, the elves of Caras Galadhon contributing their silver voices to create one last moment of perfect musical unity. Then, slowly, peacefully, the music fades into the gentle sounds of the forest at rest. But it does not disappear. It transforms, becoming part of your own inner rhythm, part of your heartbeat, part of your breathing, part of the very essence of who you are. You have drunk from the fountain of peace, and that peace will flow within you always, a source of strength and serenity that nothing in the waking world can ever exhaust. Sleep comes now, but it is not ordinary sleep. It is the deep, healing rest that only those who have walked in the realm of dreams beyond time can know. Your body relaxes completely, every muscle releasing its tension, every nerve settling into perfect calm. Your mind quiets, thoughts slowing and then stilling like ripples on a pond when the wind finally dies.